Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1187, written by Natchthund. My pumpkin broke the universe. This happened 9 years ago, and talking about it today still fills me with fear. My boyfriend and I were renting a property, and we were the only people to have a key. We love Halloween and normally buy a pumpkin at least, but this year we were both working and didn't have time for it, so we didn't buy any pumpkins or decorations at all. The day after Halloween, I was getting ready to leave for work and headed down the stairs for the first time. My boyfriend was still in the bedroom when this happened. I go to the top of the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs was a carved pumpkin, with your typical pumpkin smiley face, with a lit candle inside. The worst part is it was positioned so that it was facing the stairs. I screamed, and my boyfriend came to see what happened, and when he saw it, he freaked out too. We checked all the doors and windows, and they were all locked. Nobody else had keys to our house, and we didn't buy any pumpkins. We, to this day, have no idea how this pumpkin appeared in our house. I recently heard about this glitch in the Matrix thing, and I'm starting to think this could have been that. Let me know what you guys think. Case file number 1187. My pumpkin broke the universe. Halloween is my favorite holiday too, autumn being my favorite season overall, followed by winter and Christmas. You know that smell in the air as the leaves change colors? When they start to die off, they actually release certain compounds into the air, and it makes them smell so fresh and crisp, combined with the cooler air itself. It's sort of morbid to consider how good plant decay and death smells. The pumpkin in the story is from another universe, almost certainly. Over there you did have time to decorate, and the pumpkin hopped over to your place instead. This is certainly the more pleasant of the two-sided coin. On one side you lose the pumpkin that you had spent time decorating, and the other you gains. The other possibility is that your boyfriend was pranking you, but in those cases, it doesn't make sense to me because a prank, the payoff is when you reveal that it was a prank. So if you never reveal it, what's the point? That's not even a prank then, it's just gaslighting and kind of abusive. It's probably more likely that it's just from a different universe, which is kind of neat. Multiverse, pretty weird place. Case file number 1188, written by SadClownWithABigUnit. The Matrix translated my conversation. So this is a very minor glitch, but I'm still thinking about it a few days later. I'm a dealer in a casino, and I mostly do baccarat, which is very popular with Asian people. So all day at work, I rarely hear English from any of my players. A few days ago, I had a table full of some of my regulars, a group of older Vietnamese ladies. They understand English just fine, but don't speak it very well. So I'm just sitting, looking over at one of the TVs, watching hockey, while they take their time placing their bets. For everyone unfamiliar with baccarat, there's a big scoreboard on the table that keeps track of the results of the hands. Think like roulette. The ladies are all chatting, and I don't understand a word of it. But then I hear one of them say to another, "Hold on, I can't see the board. What was the last hand?" So I turned the board more in their direction and told her what the hand was. All the ladies immediately start yelling at me, "You speak Viet and not say anything?" And I'm confused and tell them I'm pretty sure she said that in English. They insist that they don't speak English to each other and joke that after listening to them all the time, I must have learned something. Maybe she did say it in English and didn't notice, but the fact that all of them got excited about me possibly understanding makes me think something was weird about that situation. Case notes for file 1188. The Matrix translated my conversation. Now, I don't think the whole group heard Vietnamese when English was spoken. Your brain filled in the gaps in meaning and translated it to you, filtered back through time. That's what's interesting about our conscious perception and experience of the world. It's not in real time. It takes many milliseconds for the brain to process inputs from sound, light, and other senses, then constructs an image of reality based on those inputs. The real kicker is how many tricks the brain uses to fill in those gaps, and even can retroactively alter past perceptions. In other words, the input received was Vietnamese words, but your subconscious translated it to what it thought it meant, and then fed it back to you in English, in that comprehension. That's my guess anyhow.
This kind of glitch has happened a few times, although even more wild is when someone actually speaks the language, doesn't just understand it. Then the ability is lost instantly after. I still attribute this to sort of a glitch in that there may be additional information that your subconscious is picking up on, beyond the immediate stimuli from just the words spoken, stuff like that. There could even be future information involved.
Case file number 1189, written by thelindberghbaby, The Strange Case of Seeing Myself Twice. When I was a teenager, I saw myself 2 times at my childhood home, and I can't explain it, but I will never forget it. The first time, I was walking down the stairs in my home. The stair was U-shaped, and when I got to the middle part of it, I saw the back of myself walk firmly down the last steps and turn straight to the right and into the entrance hall. I remember being really surprised, but also a bit creeped out about the way that I walked. It was really robot-like and stiff. I had no interest in following myself, so I ran to my room. I got really scared and didn't share this with anyone. The next time happened soon after the first time, when I was out playing in our yard with my siblings and our cousin. We had a big yard and a lot of trees and bushes. We were running around when I saw myself again just standing frozen between some bushes. I remember it really vividly and can even recall the blue sweater I was wearing, which was my favorite back then. I wasn't sure if I should ask the others if they could also see it, and was afraid they wouldn't believe me or get afraid themselves too, so I didn't. There was something off about the way that I was standing or something, but it gave off really unfriendly vibes. I have never experienced anything like this before, and sometimes I wonder if it really happened because there's no way for me to explain it.
Case notes for file 1189. The Strange Case of Seeing Myself. I think part of why you felt so creeped out in seeing yourself, really seeing your soul, I would guess, is part of your soul had to detach from your body. There's still a tether, but it's not normal. And this is extremely rare and unusual when conscious. It's not supposed to happen. Heck, it may even be an actual glitch within the simulation, some coding error that made you lose cohesion with the connection between this simulation, your body in it, and the real world. Whatever process is involved there may not be perfect, and if that wouldn't make you feel unsettled, I don't know what would. You're losing your connection to this simulation, like the plug in the back of your head, in the Matrix. Sort of like pulled out, maybe? Halfway? Can't be good.
Case file number 1190, written by ahlimatter, The Vanishing Popcorn Shirt. Last year, I must have switched timelines in an H&M. I still don't have an explanation for what happened. I visited the H&M in Times Square in June 2022 and saw a cute popcorn tank top, like the scrunchy ones from the 90s, on a mannequin, and then some of the same shirt for sale on a rack next to the mannequin. I grabbed one to try on, and there were maybe 6 others left on the rack, including a couple in my size. I tried on the shirt in the upstairs dressing rooms and adored it, but I was trying to stay on budget and couldn't decide. So I took it back to the rack with the others to think about it, figuring they wouldn't sell out in the time it took me to put a few other things away first. All the shirts were still there. I went upstairs for 5 minutes max, put a couple shirts back on the rack, then headed back downstairs to the main floor to grab the tank top because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I still think about the shirt, it was so cute. I walked back to the same mannequin and was surprised to see it wearing a completely different outfit. Okay, someone probably bought the clothes from the mannequin, but they're still on the rack, right? Nope, not a single shirt is left on the rack, and there are other, very different shirts in this place now. How did all the shirts sell out in 5 minutes? How did the mannequin get an entire makeover in that time? I immediately asked the nearby employee that was restocking racks if they knew what shirt I was talking about or if the mannequins had been changed recently. They had no idea what shirt I was describing and said the mannequins hadn't been changed that day. I went up to the front counter and asked 2 more employees about it and got the same answer. No one had brought the shirts to the checkout counter and no one had changed the mannequin. So where did they go? I looked around the entire store one more time, even went to the dressing room rack to see if someone had put one back. Nothing. I've scoured the internet for it. Nothing. I have no proof of this popcorn shirt other than my memory. Everything in this timeline feels the same, but my dream shirt no longer exists.
Case notes, file 1190, the Vanishing popcorn shirt. You eliminated the obvious mundane answers to this mystery. No one bought all the shirts, and they were replaced by the store employees. Both unlikely answers, but also possible. But they're crossed off, you already checked them off. If you think about it logically, what other answer could there be besides seeing and interacting with a parallel world? I can't think of anything else besides some weird gaslighting prank that's not even a prank, where they just never tell you it's a prank. I mean, that's possible, but it's so weird. Or outside of someone literally just stealing those specific shirts without being seen by any employees and then replacing him themselves with a different type of shirt. But that doesn't really make sense either, does it? So all I got is different universe. Now time for the quote of the day. Nowadays, men lead lives of noisy desperation. James Thurber. It's that constant distraction for your mind, right? Games and TV shows and music and all that. And I'm actually forcing myself now when I go on walks. I take 3 walks a day. I don't always have a podcast in, only on 2 walks. So for one of those walks, I just have my own mind and nothing in. No headphones, no earpods, just my own thoughts. And it's relaxing. It's sort of meditation, really. And if you're not comfortable with your own mind, maybe there's some fundamental fear or anxiety you need to address. And I recommend you try to. Because if we're always distracting our mind and never let it sit, I think there's something wrong there. And it's not just, you or me, it's pretty much everyone. Social media and our phones have definitely altered our own brain chemistry, and probably not in a good way. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.